Now we're recording.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, so I wanted to start off today with some of the bigger changes we've got planned in upstream, and I spent some time writing out this epic today with some of the reasoning, as well as how can I get back to my right tab here? Oh yeah, here we go. Everybody see the epic this screen?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so I spent some time today writing out some of the reasoning for this, as well as some of the breakout work that's already in progress to get it implemented. We're going to try to get this done and in a beta release ASAP. And the main driver here is just some feedback we've been receiving and chatting with users and potential users. It's been a little confusing for folks that are coming from the Agent Gateway repo or org, and where the control plane is implemented, how to use it. And when you come over to kgateway, it's not like split up in a very clear way. You use the kgateway chart, you have to enable the Agent Gateway feature in the chart, and then the docs also aren't split up. And the current CRDs, we split some of it, but it's installed in the same chart, and some of the CRDs are still shared, and they're part of the same group. So we're taking some action here to really make this concise and split. The goal here is to have a split experience. So you have your kgateway chart for the Envoy-based gateway, or you have the Agent Gateway chart for the Agent Gateway-based install. This is going to allow us to have the CRDs split, as well as the group that the CRDs live under. And there's a couple dependencies, tied down here to getting that done. But the end result here, we think, is going to be a really concise UX where you only have the CRDs and the APIs associated with, with the proxy you're trying to use. And so that way, that all of the CRs you have are relevant to your use case. It's really clear install path for each use case. And this is also going to be a huge, I think, relief to like our docs as well, where now we can really document these separate paths from the Agent Gateway side and Agent Gateway org. We can have clear links to Agent Gateway control plane, right? Where that way users coming from there can have a really clear place to drop and get started with the installed control plane. So yeah, I think all this is just based on feedback and trying to make the experience a lot clearer to users. We're doing already work to I already have a PR open, doing work to make sure that these can run effectively side by side and have no issues if you do want both for some reason. But yeah, so this is the major update. When we get this stuff in, as well as previous changes that have come in and splitting out the APIs and having the Agent Gateway specific backend and policy, when the rest of these changes come in and once they stabilize and we feel like the testing is caught up and the documentation has caught up, as well as odds and ends, we are also planning on a release. So this release cycle, I think, is going to be shaping up to be a lot shorter than the previous one. We've made a lot of big changes, a lot of API changes, a lot of breaking changes, and we just want to get that locked into a release so then we can move forward in a more stable way for users, especially with the Agent Gateway use case. The Envoy side is not, to be clear, we're not making breaking changes there. The charts are going to still be compatible. Those APIs, the only thing that's breaking on those is removing Agent Gateway specific content from those. So any questions?
I have a quick question. I'm looking at the docs now. I notice we don't necessarily talk more about agent gateway in kgateway. We kind of talk about agent gateway by, without mentioning much about kgateway. Is that intentional? Like if you go to our docs right now, we have Envoy-based kgateway, which we use kgateway's branding, and then we have agent gateway without using any of kgateway branding.
Yeah, so
Answer.
you mean these
Is
docs
that
here, right?
intentional? Yeah, is that intentional? So I guess because I find it a little bit confusing when I deploy an Envoy-based gateway, I use my class as kgateway, right? That was okay when we only had one data plane. Now that we have two, we kind of have to educate the user. Okay, if we don't change the class name, kgateway is only for Envoy, and then if you use agent gateway as the class, you get agent gateway. So you can see on this page, like there's not much reference of kgateway, other than it's more agent gateway in Kubernetes. Like you have to go to detail to see kgateway in the steps.
Yeah, and this is even going to change because this is going to change to like agent gateway specific chart even, and you don't even need to enable it. So the agent gateway install will only run agent gateway, and same thing. The kgateway install is only going to run the Envoy based gateway. So like you won't even have both classes there from the kgateway install. You'll need to just install both if you want to run both.
But the class name's still the same, right? I would use agent gateway for agent gateway and
Yes.
kgateway for Envoy. Okay.
Yes, but you just won't use the same controller to serve them anymore.
Wait, are we doing unique controller names with this split too?
Yes. They already have unique controller names actually.
Yeah, they already do. The only thing confusing is if we are trying to convince user kgateway is Envoy. That's what we ask them to use on the gateway class name today.
Yeah, I mean, so the problem, Lynn, though, maybe I'm like inferring what you're implying here is that we don't want to make further breaks for Envoy-based users. Like we could make the distinction even more clear. If that makes sense, like there could be like a kgateway/Envoy chart, kgateway/agent gateway. Wow, it's getting wordy, isn't it? But right now, I think the implicit mapping is kgateway in the context of gateway class is Envoy.
Yeah, I understand how it behaves today. I just felt it's a little bit confusing as a new user coming in. Existing user, they are already using kgateway for Envoy. I don't think it's a big problem. It's just as a new user, those are the things people will like. A lot of people think we were not super clear on. We had two data plane, we continue to support Envoy. And they also don't understand like how does agent gateway fits in and what are the scenarios we recommend on agent gateway. I don't think like if you look at this page right now, you couldn't tell like when do we recommend people to use Envoy, when do we recommend people to use agent gateway, which both can be managed by kgateway as a control plane.
Yeah, I understand. I think we haven't really caught up with these change. Well, the changes aren't even in yet, and we certainly haven't caught up with them on the website side. The docs has started to split, but like the UX isn't really representative of that because that's not in yet either. So it's still like the shared chart. So I think this will get clearer as we make the changes and as we like can work those back into like the docs and the website. I think one nice thing is that like this already has a clear landing spot now from if you're coming from agentgateway.dev, and you want to deploy the control plane, now there's like a really clear landing spot to like get started with that, right? Which we didn't have before.
Yeah, that's a very nice improvement for sure. By the way, are we going to remove the AI functionality down the road on the Envoy? Is that how we want to communicate to the user? I guess right now it's archive kind of ish.
Yes. Yeah, we were planning on removing that.
Okay, cool.
We mentioned that as deprecated in the 2.0 as well on the Envoy side, because we're focusing on implementing an agent gateway.
2.1, right, Josh?
2.1, sorry. 2.1. Yep.
Yeah, remove into 2. That's what the doc says. Yeah.
I think, yeah, Lynn, I think we've like 99% removed that code in 2.2/main at this point.
Yeah, it's all on the agent gateway side now.
Okay, that's very cool. One less than to promote and maintain. What about waypoint? We decided to keep it in, right?
Yeah, right now it's in there. We definitely didn't remove the functionality. It's disabled. We did change it to be disabled by default and documented it as an alpha feature. So like if there is interest in it and someone picks it up from the community, I think we'd explore what their use cases are and stuff, and we're definitely open to like community contribution for it, but right now it's just like we're as is represented by a lot of our changes recently, we're pretty focused on just getting the Envoy ingress use case to like really stable, making sure we have all the features and don't have gaps with as we're bringing in some of the OIDC work and other gaps that are we're trying to capture some of the Nginx users with that being end of life on the Envoy side, and then obviously a lot of momentum on agent gateway as well. So just less focused on the waypoint use case.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I also don't see waypoint mentioned in the agent gateway either. So yeah.
Yeah, but that, unlike the AI stuff that we just want to deprecate it on Envoy because it's just redundant. We don't want 2 implementations.
Yeah.
No reason to rip it out or anything. And like, we could revive that if needed, but it's just off by default alpha feature for now.
Okay, thanks for that clarification.
And Lynn, yeah, I'm happy to catch up with you offline too on this further, because if there's other concerns you have, like I want to make sure we get this. I want to make sure we get this stuff right and the messaging right now when we're making all the changes, right? So happy to discuss further and give you more context on what we're planning.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks.
Who added this? Just a lot of new feature callouts, I think.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of new stuff going in, so good to call out. I don't think we have to like delve into details in all of them, but just a list of some of the highlights from the last couple weeks.
Cool. A lot of new stuff on agent gateway side, a lot of new stuff on the Envoy side as well. Like I said, making sure we're not missing any features for people coming from Nginx. Omar, I think you added this. Yeah.
Yeah, this was an issue that someone had filed and wanted to get ideas about how this should be implemented. As there's like a few different places on the service where you could put the value. Like the service has like a load balancer IP field, which I guess you explicitly called out there. There's also the external IP. and it seemed like different gateways are doing different things. I don't know if anyone's familiar with.
Yeah, I saw this issue earlier today. I think so, Omar. I think this is a gateway API conformance test, and the like Envoy based implementation, like we burned down quite a bit of them, but the static address, and I think you mentioned GKE. Like it's a little bit of a free for all in terms of like how to implement that, but also Agent Gateway doesn't. The Agent Gateway based implementation doesn't implement this, so definitely a gap. I was looking into this at some point, very vibe codey. There's some complexity here. We can support it for sure. I'm sure there's other project implementations in the Gateway API ecosystem that already support this. So, assuming I understand the use case here, I think the static, the gateway spec address is something we may need to support in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is basically, it would have to be provider specific, right? Because you could work around it with this right now. This is
That
kind
was
of
my suggestion, but
yeah.
he specifically called out like a way to do it without annotations in the issue. Providing a way to set the load balancer IP assignment without relying on annotations that may not work in all setups. So I think it's doable. If I just do the load balancer IP field, I can throw up a PR and we can iterate on that. But I just felt like
You just need to.
that we should address.
We need our controller needs to reliably detect what provider it's running on. Then, right?
Well, I don't know if we need to get into those details, do we? If the user just has an IP address that they want to supply, we should at least respect that, right?
But this is GKE specific. Like this will only work on GKE.
It
You
isn't though,
translate.
Josh. Like Josh is like a conformance, like static gateway API addressing is like a conformance test. And so like GKA is in the title, right? But the ask here is like I'm able to like configure an IP address in the gateway spec that addresses, and like my system propagates that correctly. And there's workarounds available. I think Omar even. Oh, we're looking on the screen. Like he already pasted that, but there's the expectation. Like it's encoded in the spec. There's an expectation. There's kind of like some looseness in terms of like these are the types that I can support, but I think the expectation is reasonable.
Yeah, but wouldn't to actually implement, you'd have to use the GKE. In GKE, you'd have to use the right annotation, right? Unless it's a in-cluster service, I guess, then you could just give it a static IP. But I don't think that's normally what people want either.
For some reason, yeah, I mean, we can look into this a little bit more. For some reason, I thought GKE, and this is like me spitballing, I thought they had a custom type in the addresses field that did this kind of thing instead of the annotation based driven.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we can look into this more. Yeah, it's just like you have to take in the main providers. You have to take into account the main providers here. But
yeah, I definitely don't want to read providers, or I don't want to do like a provider based API.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty reasonable ask in terms of like, and I was talking with John about this. I don't think he's on the call a couple of weeks back in terms of that conformance test and whether he felt like it was a valuable use case. And regardless of whether it's a good like conformance use case, it's we're seeing here that some users want this.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's follow back up on this. This sounds like something we should figure out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if you had you said you had a first stab at it, Omar, I'd say just like post it up, and I think we could probably continue a conversation there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Cool. All right, and then Did we have anyone here from the
Derek,
community
are you new to this meeting?
I'm new to the meeting. Derek Free, I work at Aerospike. Just kind of lurking right now.
Nice. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Any specific questions or just tuning in?
Honestly, I've been messing around with the environment, just getting it set up, going through tutorials. Figure I would rather kind of figure out what I'm doing first, and then perhaps ping one of you guys about contributing down the road.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, just you can find us on Slack. So
Yep,
So-
that's how I
so-
found this meeting. Cool. Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Hey, we're pretty close to time, but I'm curious about the Envoy based like feature gaps. So it looks like basic auth went in. Early header manipulation. Is there like are we burning down? Is it still is the plan still like that's a upstream 2.2 item in addition to the agent gateway break?
Yeah, as much as we can fit in. We have a bunch of them in here. I'll go find the issue. It's good.
Yeah, I know Yuval is owning quite a few of those, so I feel bad not reviewing them. Or I try my best, but
Yeah, we have a lot. Yeah, there's a bunch of here. I'll go add it to the. There's a bunch of the PRs in, so. Yeah, so making good progress on a lot of these. I know Shashank is close on the OIDC. He's working on the test ones. This one's almost merged. This one's almost merged by Alex. Lamar, I think you got some answers here, right?
Yeah, on the validation one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I addressed some comments. Just need some approvals.
Cool. Then yeah, Yuval's been burning through a lot of these other ones. So yeah, I think we're making great progress here. Is the TLDR, and I think we'll be able to get a lot of these into the 2.2 release as well.
sweet. Yeah, let me know if you need reviews then. Be good to burn this down. Honestly, it would be a good release, like a short release where we make these kind of like agent gateway infrastructure releases and then backfill quite a bit of people that need features from migrating off Nginx.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of high impact. Even though it's short, I think it's a lot of high impact stuff to get in. And yes, always can use help on, especially right now on that Epic Tim. I think reviews would be great. I think Lawrence is a little swamped with them right now. Okay. Hey, thanks for joining, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.
All right.